Hello, Paula. Just quickly, would you be able to briefly describe where you were before, like, starting with us, sorry, at Core Fitness, and what struggles were you facing, like physically or mentally even?
So before I joined, I was feeling like I needed some accountability. Being in the industry myself, I wasn't giving myself that sort of acknowledgement, that time to kind of see myself progress. So I needed that guidance from somebody else to help me on my journey. And following Luke, I knew that we matched in terms of our um, priorities and, sort of way of living and all that kind of stuff, having a good balance. I knew that Luke was the right person to take that on and give me that extra guidance that I needed.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I know when we first started, we discussed the balance side of things and not reduce, like completely cutting things out and having a bit of enjoyment whilst also sticking to it. So, for yourself, it was mainly the accountability side that sort of made you decide to join with myself as well and Core Fitness, really. Perfect. So
Yeah.
in terms of that side of things, what sort of changes would you say that you've sort of noticed in yourself since starting the program, whether it's physically, mentally, or just daily sort of habits and things?
I think daily habits have been not snacking as much as I was before,
Mm.
being very mindful of, I'm eating well, but the snacking was not necessarily going so well. I was just sort of picking at sweets and things like
Mm.
that. So, that the daily habits in that respect have improved. I'm able to sort of step back and sort of have a word with myself and realise that I don't need to have that or distractions. And yeah, physically, I have. I wouldn't say my body shape has changed too much. I've noticed physical changes, but not sort of dramatic because obviously with me being ill and stuff, I've not been able to sort of give that kind of push for that kind of dramatic change.
Mm.
Although that's not actually what I'm looking for. So, and yeah, so I would say mostly it's been with the control on the snacking.
Yeah. No, I love that. I know we when we caught up before as well, you mentioned about it's not you're not really too fussed about getting a massive physical transformation and like the photo shoot prep and all that side of things, but
Yeah.
it's more just being able to have the solid, like you say, accountability and get those habits in place with that side of things. So good to hear that that has changed as well. And for you, do you feel like with the side of things we discussed in terms of the transformation now, do you feel comfortable and more like full of yourself in terms of the confidence in just being you and just having those habits rather than thinking, oh, I need to get this massive transformation, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sort I've gone through all of that kind of stuff in the past,
Mm.
and I know how hard it can be. And being a woman of my sort of age, I don't want to put that pressure on myself.
Mm.
My ultimate goal and my main goal is to lead as healthy a life as I can, but also enjoy some wine and a few nibbles at
Mm.
the weekend and stuff. So um, my goal is to live as healthy and sustainable as I can. I'm just not in that right frame of mind at this time of my life.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think, yeah, like I always say, I think it's not always about massive transformations like seeing the beginner picture to this picture type of thing. It's as living a healthy life and sustainable life with those habits is as key as anything. So I'm glad that that has become more apparent to you as well. So for you, like, what would you say in terms of the coaching experience? Do you think helped you most? Obviously, you mentioned the snacking. In terms of that like side of things, what do you think helped you most?
Overall, I would say the fact that I knew that you had my back. So that was really good for me. And the training plan has really helped as well. Um, knowing that I can sort of go into the gym and not sort of think, right, what do I want to work on? It's very much right, lower day, upper day, lower day, upper day, and then mix it up myself if I want to, sort of on another day. So the training plan has definitely helped me to stick to my goals and yeah, just again knowing that somebody else has got my back, and that is and to sort of not moan to, but kind of debrief to, and you know, sort of be reassured that it's okay, and you know, you haven't sort of gone off track too much, and you can put it back in. So I would say the support is in the background has really helped me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that, because I think for me a big thing is the accountability and support side, because at the end of the day you can have the best training and nutrition programs in the world, but if there's no one there to sort of back you up and support you and keep you going when you don't necessarily feel like it, it can be difficult to stick to those things. So yeah, in terms of like the program and working with us, what would you say is, like, I don't know if you've ever worked with anyone else before, but what would you say is slightly different, I guess, about the program in the way that we work?
So I haven't had coaching before. This was a massive thing for me to do because, you know, it was trusting somebody. So I haven't had one-to-one coaching before, but I have done another plan before, and it was all group involved, and it was like a 3-month plan. So the difference is that this is more flexible. That was quite rigid. That was looking for a transformation. So that's like, I've been there, done that. I don't want that again, because I know what work I had to put into it and what restrictions I had to take to get to that really tiny sort of like picture at the end of it. And again, that's not the look that I want anymore. I want to sort of see some muscle and, you know, that kind of stuff. So with this plan, it's been very much, let's work everything in so that you can have the best of life, best of both worlds. You know, you're getting your training done, you're moving daily, you're eating well, and you are still getting in the wine and the crisps at the weekend. So yeah, it's completely different in that respect. Because again, I'm looking for longevity. I'm not looking for, I need to be the tiniest person that I can ever be in 3 months' time. So, because at the end of the day, as soon as you finish that, you just want to go and eat a load of whatever you haven't eaten all that time anyway. So, yeah, it's not very good for for training the mind, shall we say?
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's yeah, I love that, because our thing is about sustainability with it all. At the end of the day, like you say, if you can't drink wine for 3 months or whatever, so you can get this transformation, then it's probably great for that coach. But at the end of the day, for you, like you say, once you stop that, you're probably gonna, you know, have more wine or whatever, because you've been missing it for like 3 months or whatever. So yeah. No, I'm glad that it feels and it felt sustainable for you, the whole sort of process.
Yeah.
But in terms of like looking back, how would you say you felt about making the decision to do this and invest in yourself?
I mean, it took a lot of sort of, you know, seeing people on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and seeing again, I'm not going to just sort of take on somebody like easily. You know, they need to have the same sort of mindset that I've got, because my mindset isn't like all over the place. It is very much, I know what I want, and I do exercise and I do eat well. But I didn't want somebody to push me into a transformation just so that you could get those pictures, which again is what has happened before. So it took a lot for me to build up the trust in yourselves to get me on the right path to feel comfortable, but also make progress as well. So yeah, it just sorry if I'm sort of going off a little bit here, but it wasn't an easy decision, but I felt it was the right decision at the right time.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, and I think for me, it's making you as comfortable with the whole process as possible, and like wouldn't force you into, eating less or restricting yourself just to get transformation. To like put a picture on Instagram, for example. There's as much transformation in the eating habits and your mentality towards the whole healthy lifestyle thing. So in terms of that, what would you say? What's next for you now that you've hit this mental, physical transformation with the healthy lifestyle? What would you say is next on the plan for you?
Again, just try and keep those snacks at bay. And again, I do want to see more muscle. And just build on that. Obviously, I've not been well, like on and off for the last 4 months, which is really sort of, don't get me wrong, when I was ill, I was just had to cut myself off of it. It was just like, I need to get myself better. But as soon as I was better, I was back to it. So it didn't sort of knock me in terms of, moving again and all that kind of stuff. So I think because I've not been able to fulfill the 4 months to its absolute potential, I am just looking day to day to do the best that I can to move and exercise and eat well. And so it isn't like, oh, I want to see the scales drop another whatever kilograms in 4 months' time. I'm really not interested in that. It is very much just stay well. Just stay well and keep to the plan and just see myself getting stronger on the progressive overload in the gym. So
Yeah, brilliant. I think, like I say, just keeping up the habits that I know that you will do as well, because I know I will see you with your steps and the right foods and in the gym, so I know that you'll keep that side up. And as at the end of the day, as long as you're controlling what you can and doing what you can do there, then that's brilliant. Like, you're going to keep your health in the best possible way that you can, and you'll still be able to have the balance and enjoy, the glass of wine on the weekend as well. So that's brilliant. That you've got that relationship with it all now. So literally last question, Paula, is just literally to sum everything up from our time together. If someone was sort of sitting on the fence of working with ourselves, not sure if it's the right time or if it would work for them, what would your advice be to them? What would you say to them?
I'd say, just bite the bullet and give it a go, because people are sort of scared of one-to-one training because maybe they're just not ready for it. But knowing all the tools that you provide and the guidance, the knowledge, then they're going to be in the best place to start. And again, for a minimal period, knowing that it's not just a month's worth of work and you're going to just change your habits and everything. It does take more work than that, but just sort of just biting the bullet and just giving it a go, knowing that you've got all of that background of wealth of information. So I would definitely recommend.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you have enjoyed the time working with ourselves and myself in particular. And like I say, I think obviously the stuff that you have done and we have worked on, I've loved it, and I think that you've made the changes that you mentioned, which are brilliant, and glad to see that you've been able to do that. I'm glad to see that you've been able to still enjoy your life while prioritizing your health at the same time.